Well, hello everybody, and welcome to what on the surface at least looks like another completely lost cause here in Snowdonia. Visibility is not great, but there have been inversions all weekend. It's now Monday, and I'm hopeful that once I get up the top of the Gliders, which are somewhere over there, I'll be able to see some summits and some sunshine. According to the forecast, the inversions still are here, they're just a bit higher today, so I suppose we'll see. Now luckily today is off to a slightly more productive start than last week's video in terms of photography, in that on my way here I got some nice shots of Pembrun Castle in the mist. So that was a result. Just hopped out the car in my sliders, stood above a load of roadworks, but you can't see that in the photo. The beauty of telephotos, and Tryfan is just coming out now. Well, I'm currently at 850 metres on my way up to Glidervac, which sits 6 metres short of 1,000 metres above sea level. So I've still got 150 metres to go-ish, and I'm hoping that in that time the cloud breaks, or I break through it. It is getting a bit brighter, but I think it's going to be a tight one. We'll see. I can see the sun. That's a good sign. That is a good sign. Yes! Just waiting for the right hiker to be in the right place. But might take a minute. So yes, the forecast was right, which for me is the first time in a long time. Very pleased I made the effort to come out. I had thought while I was on my way up that I should have gone up Snowdon, because you get another 80 or 90 metres of elevation as opposed to here. And I thought I was going to need it when I was near the summit, and there was still no sign of visibility. But I mean, there's not now either, but very pleased I came up. Also, I don't mean to sound ungrateful, but it is a high inversion. It's the first inversion I've seen here for a long time, and it is a really high one. You can't see a Garn where I was last week. You couldn't see it then either, as you'll know if you watch that video. And Tryfan doesn't even look like it exists at the moment, but hopefully as it gets a bit colder this afternoon, the cloud will sink. I'll be staying here till sunset, that's for sure. Well, I have found my sunset view. I lost my gloves in the process, but it doesn't matter because this view is incredible, although the cloud is coming over slowly and might ruin it all in time for sunset, which is in half an hour. So I'm going to sit here and wait patiently, naturally with my hands in my pockets. Anyway, today, if I've shown you any photos so far, most of them I imagine will have been on my brand new lens, my new favourite lens as well, which is the 70-200 f2.8 Mark II from Sony. GM lens, and I'm very excited about it. You might recall that 2 months ago, I want to say, I bought a 70-200 f4, maybe a bit longer than that, but yeah, I've decided to change it. Basically, when I went to Iceland with that 135mm f1.8, it felt very cool and exotic, and I got a lot of kicks from shooting with that, which I didn't really get with the f4. So I was thinking that I'd replace it with the 70-200 f2.8, and that would be a bit more versatile and a bit more exotic than the f4. Ridiculous reason to get a new lens, being exotic and exciting, but I don't know. I like the sound of this one. Also, actually, it's 30% lighter than the Mark I, and supposedly optically superior. What is this? Anyway, yes, while we wait for this to clear, or hope it clears, if you ever take any advice from this channel, please don't take anything from the fact that you should change lenses because one is more exotic than another. Absolutely ridiculous. Still, I am excited about it, and I'm going to shoot sunset with it if there is one, and I'll go shooting with it tomorrow as well, which is, I suppose, what you'll see in a couple of seconds, right after the sunset shot that may or may not be. Right then, here we go. She is coming back out. So we've got f6.3 ISO 100, which is giving me a shutter speed of 3200th of a second. So absolutely no need for a tripod, but hands have been freezing because of the lack of gloves. Hence the use of the tripod, because then I can just keep my hands in my pockets, don't need to hold the camera. That's quite nice. Maybe I'll go back down, head back out tomorrow. Well, as you can see, I am not on my way up Snowdon. Now, I did go out this morning to try and take some photos, but as you might be able to see from this footage, I'm limping a little bit, and that's because I sprained my knee on the way down last night. And if I told you that this is the best photo I got this morning out the window of my car, then I think you'd get a sense of the success that I had this morning. Anyway, I had a good time out yesterday, so it's not all bad. And so, rather than show you some more shots with this lens, what I thought I'd do instead is report back on some of my favourite photos from 2021. Starting with this one, which, I mean, it's not a Grand Vista, the light wasn't particularly good, but I love it because even though I set it up myself, it's not spontaneous in any way. My smile is genuine because it's the first time, basically, that I got to go out on a bike after 3 months of lockdown. And whenever I look at this photo, that's what I'll remember, the joy of being allowed out again. And it's much the same with this photo from Iceland, which is definitely one of my favourites of this year as well. Again, not a Grand Vista, but this photo screams adventure to me. And it looks like people have just escaped from the car in order to try and get some photos of that rainbow, which is basically what happened on the workshop. And again, the past couple of years, those kinds of things, as we all know, have been fleeting for lots of us. So that photo just reminds me of the joys of adventure. Third one is this. I mean, sheep. What's not to like? In all seriousness though, I remember getting out of bed that morning at like 2 AM, the sort of time that you have to get up for summer sunrises, and it wasn't until I took this photo that I felt like it was completely worth it. And again, it's not a Grand Vista, but it makes me feel warm, and that's not because of the sheep, it's because of the light. I can't really put my finger on why I like this so much, but I do. This one, Castle Stalker in Scotland, I just had a phenomenal day that day. And for me, this photo at the very end of the day encapsulates that great day. Nobody else will know about that great day because it was just a personal experience. But as with all these photos, they evoke memories for me. And that's the best thing about photos, as far as I'm concerned. And finally, this one in Cornwall, complete opposite end of the UK. I just love this because, well, A, it's a nice photo, I think. But B, when I took it, I had my little boy strapped to me, and it's the first time I'd taken a photo with him on me in some way, and well, that's the memory I'll have of that. Lovely. So that's a roundup of some of my favourite shots of this year. Again, not the Grand Vistas, and I do love taking those, but typically, as I say, it's the kind of shots that evoke memories that really stick with me, and there's some from this year. So yeah, I would really encourage you to check out your own photos from this year and just remind yourself of some of the things you've been able to get up to, because it might evoke some memories and that hopefully will make you happy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today and all of this year. I really appreciate it, and I hope you'll stick around for 2022 when I'll be out shooting with this lens an awful lot. You've not seen any photos brighter than f4 yet, so I think you could build a really solid argument that I've completely wasted my money at this point, but hopefully at some point I will. Also, it has an iris lock, and you might remember from a couple of weeks ago I was moaning that most of the Sony lenses I have that have got the aperture dial, no, it's locked. Yeah, the aperture ring, most of them don't lock, and therefore you can end up with apertures that you don't particularly want when you're trying to shoot quickly. So yeah, that's pretty good. Excited to get adventuring with this. Anyway, Happy New Year if you're watching this video when it first comes out, and I'll see you very soon. Thanks for watching.